Everything you see here burned to the ground in 1565. Remember that, while you watch it shine. This is Hampi, capital of the Vijayanagara Empire. And 500 years ago, it was the richest city on earth. After Beijing, 500,000 people lived here, among granite hills, carved temples, and markets that traded diamonds in the open street. In 1443, a Persian ambassador named Abdur Razak arrived and wrote that this city simply had no equal in the world. He counted 7 rings of walls, one inside another, wrapping farms, workshops, bazaars, and palaces all the way to the center. The city rose beside the Tungabhadra River, in a fortress of giant natural boulders that no army had ever cracked. Stone canals carried river water to fields, tanks, and fountains. In this dry land, engineers made water obey. Then came the Golden Age. In 1509, a king named Krishnadevaraya took the throne, and the city exploded with wonder. His masons carved whole temples from granite, including a stone chariot, so perfect it sits on India's 50 rupee note. At the Vitala temple, they raised 56 slender pillars that do something impossible. Tap them, and they sing musical notes. Centuries later, British officers sawed 2 pillars open, convinced something was hidden inside. They found nothing but solid stone. The markets ran for miles. Travelers wrote of pearls sold by the handful, silk, spices, horses, and diamonds by weight. Merchants sailed from Persia, Portugal, and China to trade here. 300 ports fed goods to this one glittering capital. Festivals lit the city for days. Wrestlers, dancers, fireworks, processions of elephants covered in gold. This was the peak of an empire. And through it all, the boulders stood guard. 7 walls, a river moat, 500,000 people who felt completely safe. But remember the warning at the start of this story. Every wonder you have just seen had only a few years left. The empire had rivals, 5 sultanates of the Deccan to the north. For generations, they fought each other. Vijayanagara's ruler Rama Raya played the rivals against one another, and it worked until the 5 decided to do something unthinkable. They united. In January 1565, their combined armies met Vijayanagara's forces near a village called Talikota. The empire's army was enormous, and for hours it was winning. Then, in the chaos of battle, everything turned at once. Rama Raya was captured and executed on the field. When his head was raised, his vast army simply shattered and ran. The road to the capital lay open, and the City of Wonders had no army left to close its 7 gates. What followed was one of the most complete destructions of any city in history. The plunder went on for months. Fires burned the markets. Palaces were smashed. Temples were broken stone by stone for nearly half a year. The people fled or perished. The city that held 500,000 voices went silent within a single season. Rome was sacked and rose again. Delhi burned and rebuilt. But no one ever came back to live in Hampi. Not ever. The boulders kept their secret for centuries, until travelers stumbled on a ghost city of stone chariots and singing pillars. Today, UNESCO protects the ruins, and tourists walk streets where diamonds were once weighed like grain in the open sun. Stand there at sunset, and it is hard not to hear it. The bells, the markets, the city that had no equal. The richest city on earth vanished in one battle. If its walls could speak, what would they tell us?